You're listening to a Countout Podcast.
What it is, what's up, and welcome everyone to Faces and Feels. I'm your host, Raffe Houston, and today I'm joined by not one but two very special guests. That's right, it's Anything Goes. I'm joined, as always, by my boy from Vinyls and Violence. It is the one and only Alex Castillo. How are you, my man?
I'm good. How are you? Back at it again?
back at it again, and this is a returning guest. But you'll know him. You'll love to drink the tasty beverages he creates. It is the one and only Ryan Walker from Brewcha Libre. How are you, my dude?
Good, man. Thanks for having me back.
Oh, always. Open invitation, my friend. Any chance that we get to talk shit is a welcome one. So I'm really looking forward to it.
The third man, brother.
The third man, exactly. And the Hogan to our outsiders, and I absolutely appreciate it. Look, I thought there was nobody better really to get onto this episode. Anybody listening to this will know now that this episode is Anything Goes Gets Raw. That's the working title I've got in my mind, but I don't know if that's what will be on the episode. But either way, we're reflecting on the first 2 days or episodes of the WWE Raw Netflix era. You know, the new series. It's kind of a soft reboot, and it's a new time frame, and it's a new platform and all those things. And now it's like very accessible for everybody because most people have Netflix. And it's the first time I've watched Raw in like, I don't know, 10 years maybe. I know it feels like a very long time. And Ryan, you're a bit bigger WWE fan as of late. And you had been trying to get me sort of back into it and suggesting things to watch. And I know we watched WrestleMania around the same time and stuff. So I thought it very appropriate to get you back in and sort of get your takes on how it started. And then Alex, I know you've always sort of been in and out. So I think we're going to get quite a few sort of views on how it worked out. Yeah?
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, bit of fun.
So before we, dive in with any kind of detail, and we're not going to go match for match, but we're going to give a general synopsis. I just want to get a general vibe check of this, right? From like excited about it, about the same, likelihood to tune back in. How are we all feeling? Let's start with you, Ryan. I know you were most excited for the reboot. I know you've been a big Triple H fan for a while and very happy with him taking over and how the stories and stuff have happened. So how are you feeling about these first 2 shows?
Yeah, good. The McMahon era is finished well and truly now, which is great. We can actually get on with real stories and actually, back to what it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
The first episode, it was what I expected, really. It was more of an introduction for the new people. It wasn't really for us diehards that watch it every week. It was more, these are the big stories, more of a, welcome to type pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Where the second episode had a little bit more juice to it for us, fans. We got the excitement of the debuts and a little bit extra to watch, which was nice.
Sure. And I noticed they've also, they've kind of been trotting out like the celebrities in the crowd and stuff a little bit more. And I think that kind of stuff is pretty important for like new watchers. Like if you're like, what is this WWE that everybody talks about? They're always banging on about it. It's now on my Netflix. I'm going to check it out. I suppose for the layman or the casual fan, you'd be like, oh, cool people like this, I guess is sort of the vibe, if you care about things like that,
100%, yeah. The screen, how many times they shoot out and show the whole crowd is quite a new thing. They'll show a little bit, but never this all the way zoom out and the horrible drones, they could get rid of those. Just the footage is worse than my phone. But, yeah, seeing all the celebrities and things, they really are showing that they're number one by a significant way. Yeah.
Yeah. They're trying to make it like every sort of Monday Night Raw feel like it's fucking Monday Night Football kind of thing.
Yeah. It's a Lakers game. You got the celebrities in the front row.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And how about you, Alex? What were you thinking? You obviously jumping back in. When was the last? Can you remember the last sort of Raw you had watched prior to tuning into this one?
Man, full Raw. It's been a while. I'm more of just like a YouTube like recap kind of guy. It's a rare occasion I get to sit down and watch a live show in its entirety, but I did on this one because where I'm at, we got a lot of snow that week, and I was snowed in. So I was like, what else am I gonna do? So I tuned into it, and yeah, it was fun. If we take into consideration, like you said, it's like an introduction for the new viewers that might be checking it out, because that first match was. I'm sitting there going like, this is a lot going on. And then I had to remind myself like, oh, that's right. They're just trying to showcase like every main player they have all at once. So anyone tuning in right from the rip is like, who are these guys? Who are these people? You know? So
yeah,
I thought it was good if you were that, but for me, it was like, it was fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're like I guess super wrestling fans, I don't know, Mega Marks are like kind of like the three of us are, where we really like have watched wrestling for a long time and really like to dissect it and kind of look into it. Episodes like this don't always hit for those reasons, because you want like a little bit more. And I think they definitely, like you said, Ryan, they started to get into that a little bit more in episode 2. That said, it is WWE too. It's, more about the entertainment. Like, I'm not going to get my New Japan matches on an episode of Raw, that kind of thing. You're going to get the entertainment, you're going to get the angles, and you're going to get the sort of spectacle and everything. And then also, they have to do the things like, this is where you can see The Rock, and even, sort of unfortunate appearance of Hulk Hogan, be whichever side you are on that. And I don't mean that, I'm not getting into political shit, I don't care. But like the booing of him, stuff like that, you could see why they would send him out, because it's on TV in America on Netflix, and everybody on all sides of political spectrum watch it. And so there'd be plenty of people that are, old school Hulk Hogan fans who don't have a foot in a political race, or maybe lean one way or another, that would be very happy to see him. And so they're
trotting him out in LA was probably a terrible idea, really.
It was a bit of it was
for Texas or something.
Exactly. It wasn't really the state for it, but it's the first episode, they got to get him out there. So they kind of sent him out there to fucking burn a little bit. But I mean, I'm sure they sort of knew that, and they're like, it's fine, fuck it.
There would have been plenty of giggles backstage.
Yeah, and I'm sure a couple of them knew exactly what they were doing in sending him out there as well. Because, I mean, as many allies as he's built over the years in the wrestling industry, he's built plenty of fucking adversaries too. Frenemies, as you will,
Should have never taken Triple H's undisputed title.
Exactly. This has come back on you, brother. All right, I just want to shout out as well, this has been the podcast debut of my dog nephew Buddy. You can hear him whining in the background. I'm just going to quickly take him out of the room, because he has now failed as a podcast host. So one moment, you guys talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know, that first match, I was watching it with my niece. She's 8 years old, and I'm trying to explain to her like who's who, and I couldn't even keep up with all the people coming out. It's trying to explain it was nuts, but
it was a hard one, because I mean the Bloodline story is such a deep story. It's been told for however many years now. So they did good with their little sort of sum up package, hype package at the beginning and things. But there was a lot to sort of, wow, this happened and then that happened. It's a hard one to introduce a lot of people. If you want to get real deep with the first match, but. It did what it did, and I think it was a nice closing chapter for it. Now they can move on, which will be interesting.
I was going to say, I peripherally know the Bloodline story from the outside, and mainly from what I saw at WrestleMania, you know what I mean? And so it did kind of tie it up, just go, okay, cool, Roman's back in charge, here we go, and just reset sort of the status quo. And I kind of like that with WWE, you could literally not watch all this. You could just watch pay-per-view to pay-per-view and know what's going on. You know what I mean? I didn't feel like
you would have missed a lot with Bloodline, though.
Yeah.
Someone has to make a nice, 4-hour video of the entire Bloodline story, because it's probably the best story WWE have told.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Possibly
Like
ever.
that you can get kind of as deep or as undeep as you want with it, you know? And so, yeah, it's funny. As far as like getting back into it, I did sort of enjoy the simplicity of just turning on Netflix and having a wrestling show and pressing play, and it runs for an hour and 45 minutes, and that was it, you know? I said
No ads.
No ads, yeah. And I said to I didn't have to like log into, you know, the New Japan app, which works terribly and doesn't cast, and I've got to fuck about. Like, it's always a mission to like get it going. I'm a big unabashed fan of that stuff, and I love it when I'm watching it, but every time, like, I can't just fucking turn it on. You know what I mean? It's a thing every time I want to watch it. And I said to my mate Travis, I'm like, oh, it wasn't that bad. He goes, oh, I just don't think you could get me to watch WWE. And I was like, I feel like I am like the cipher of wrestling fans. And by that, I mean the character from The Matrix, the cipher. Like, there's a small part of me that just wants to be plugged back in. Like, life was just easier when there was nothing else. Before I woke up from The Matrix and started getting into indies and moving through all that stuff and doing all my podcasts and things like that, I was just a happy little WWE fan, and it was fine. And I'm like, maybe I just need to plug back in. Maybe it's all I need, and I just don't look at anything else, and I just watch it on my Netflix, and it's all fine. And there's a very appealing part of me that's like, I could just stop caring about everything and just watch this and just be done.
And you can imagine how many people think that way at the moment. You know?
Absolutely. And there's many people that literally think that's the only wrestling in the world. You know what I mean? They just don't even know about anything else, and they don't care to know. And that's also totally fine, you know?
I mean, I was like that for the longest time. I had no idea. I mean, up until like 2018-ish, I didn't even know Ring of Honor existed, and it was like 2 hours from where I live. Like, I could have attended those shows.
That's wild.
Yeah, I know. Crazy.
That's always the wildest thing when I speak to, you know, all my American friends and wrestlers and stuff about their wrestling fandom. And for us, right, you know, wrestling's always been so far away, and we've had to work so hard to watch it. Just now, actually, only just now, it going to Netflix is probably the closest we're ever going to feel with, like, to what it's like to be an American watching wrestling on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can just turn it on.
Tape swapping. You had one friend with Foxtel, so they'd have to film it, and then you'd share the videotapes around amongst all your mates after. And
yeah, and even like Foxtel, like if you wanted to watch your WrestleMania and shit, I had to like go to the landline phone, call Foxtel's number, read out a credit card, pay them like $50, $60, and then I'd have all my friends come around and give me cash so we could then like order some pizzas and like watch WrestleMania. Like, it was like a whole thing. Yeah.
At 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, at like 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. You know, like, it was crazy. So it is fun to, just hit the convenience and everything. But yeah, so vibes aside, I think I'm feeling positive about it. Whether I have the staying power to continue to watch it every week, we'll see. But I'm not hating it so far. So anyway, just running through it a little bit. When it cranks up, starts with Triple H, you know, doing the grand sort of welcome to WWE, Netflix is Raw intro.
That was pretty cool how they did that, the big curtain drop.
Yeah, and I liked the mural they were painting. Like, you know, it had like the guy painting the mural, and it's got all the different characters and things like that. It made it seem epic. And
yeah, it's a ring canvas.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it was a full size ring canvas. It was killer.
That's really cool. That's really cool. And like WWE do that shit really well. They make their stuff seem historic. They make it seem legendary. They're like the Disney of fucking, you know, wrestling. And I think they're really great stewards of that kind of wrestling history. Then we crank in, and then The Rock comes out. Everybody's always happy to see The Rock. And he sort of, you know, acknowledges Cody Rhodes and blah, blah, blah. And then we're going to...
That was disappointing.
Yeah, it was. There was no... I mean, is Cody's injured right now, right? Or...
No, he's the world champ.
Yeah, but isn't he? Didn't he get hurt in a recent, or is that like a work? Is that like
work?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because okay.
But just to have them such a blood-fueled feud previously to then end on a Joker handshake and have a drink later together.
Yeah, that was.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, that was kind of weird actually. Now, do you think it's because they were maybe they working towards a match, but Rock isn't going to do it?
Nah, I think it's just The Rock wants people to like him. He doesn't want to be a bad guy in front of the whole world again. And it was, I think it's more an ego thing. I think there's a little bit of McMahon in Rock.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
He was great when he was in full heel mode though. Like it was immediately like viral and stuff. All his bullshit. So it seems like a real shame they didn't end up having a match or blowing it off. But I mean, Rock is quite a bit
away and doing what he did.
Yeah, exactly. And when you think about like him in the ring recently, in his most recent things, it's not like he was doing heaps. It was in tags and things like that. So maybe the concern is as well from him is like maybe I can't go to that level either.
Yeah, I think they want to try and build to him and Roman.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
I think that's where the story goes next.
Yeah.
But even they had a bit of a handshake and a hug and everything like that, right?
But they had the awkward stare down, I think, was where that was just dropping hints. They're very subtle now, WWE, with some of their stories. Yeah.
Exactly. Which is more that Triple H storytelling than the Vince McMahon level. Anyway, after that is what it is. And then John Cena came out. And I got to say, this is where I started getting back into it. Now, back in the day, I used to fucking hate John Cena. He was literally my least favourite wrestler in the world. I've come to quite – you said it well, Alex. You were like, now I love the man. And I feel the same. And by the end of his promo, I was feeling pretty fucking pumped. I'm like, let's go. Cena run. Let's do it.
That's funny. Funny. I checked out with him. He was just yapping too much.
Nah, he was great. And he was like talking shit at the start, and he kind of is very good at kind of, I guess, like just being like, I'm not active right now, so I'm kind of like depreciating humor and stuff, but then he turns it around by like the end, and I thought it was a great promo, and I was like, let's go, Cena for the Rumble. I love it.
Cena sucks.
Not run around. When they were last here, when they did that big show over in Melbourne, was it Melbourne? When they last? Yeah.
Global warming.
Yeah, no. I did go to that one. I mean, like the very recent one. It was like a Rumble or something. I don't know.
Wasn't it? Wasn't it Elimination Chamber?
No. Before that, over East.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
There's Triple H.
And Undertaker and fucking everyone was there. Either way, me and my friends went and we all had fucking Cena short shirts and like matching jorts and like the whole fucking show. we were like, we're going to be down and on board for it. So, yeah, that's it. No. Why don't you break down this? Then we had Rhea Ripley. Let's talk a little bit about Rhea Ripley because obviously she is like Australian folk hero right now, right?
Yeah, killing it.
I forgot she was Australian, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, the Americans have embraced her, haven't they?
Yeah, for real. No, she is awesome.
Oh, mate, she's absolutely killing it, hey?
Yeah.
It's a big thing for an Aussie just to break into it, let alone, WWE's always been, the home of the Americans still. There's still always the foreigner heel. Even the Canadians, you never see them hit the massive heights most of the time, but man, what Rhea's doing is huge.
She is, hey, she's like next level. Sorry, Alex.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, she's got to be like the biggest like female star that they've had in a long time, I feel like, because she's like mainstream popular.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I think more people know her than Becky now.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And Becky was, the man. Everyone loved her, but Rhea, she captures your attention.
Yeah.
Whether you're a wrestling fan or not, she walks past you in the street. You think, holy shit, who is that? There's just that rock star aura.
Yeah. And the company's clearly behind her. Like, it's not a coincidence that they just like rolled out The Undertaker literally to like fucking essentially give his blessing to her. And like, that's the kind of backing that I would say a female in WWE has never had.
No, exactly right.
He's crazy. I had a co-worker come up to me and he's like, used to be a bit of a fan back in the day, growing up fucking as a as much of a wrestling fan as you can be in Australia back in, the 90s or whatever. But he told me a story the other day. He goes, hey, you see that Raw is, on Netflix, like WWE? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, yeah, I didn't even know. He goes, my daughter came up to me and she took me aside. She goes, Dad, can we do something tonight? And he's like, what do you want to do? And she goes, will you watch wrestling with me? And he's like,
yes.
Yeah, on what? And she's like, yeah, it's on Netflix now. Rhea Ripley will be on it or whatever. And so as a small girl, she's I think 9, 10 or whatever in Australia, she has that kind of crossover appeal where kids in the schools know who she is and want to watch her.
I've heard my boy talking with his friends and they mention that name as well. They still talk about The Rock, they still talk about John Cena, and then they talk about Rhea Ripley now. It's wow.
It's huge, eh? It's absolutely huge.
Yeah,
absolutely. But yeah, it's again another. When you think about the order of segments on this show, we saw Triple H, we saw The Rock, we had a big match with Roman Reigns and all the fruit. Cody's in it, Kevin's in, and things like that. Then next up, it's Rhea Ripley, and then The Undertaker. If that doesn't speak to how they see her in their hierarchy of stars, fucking nothing does. Hey, she is
right.
Yeah, absolutely. She's huge for them. Absolutely huge. After that, I said we weren't going to break down everything match by match, but it seems to be kind of happening that way. So we're just going to keep on rolling.
There weren't many matches.
Yeah, exactly. It's not really a thing. It's more like the running of the show. Then also Jey Uso.
I think just quickly on the Rhea one, it would have been nice if they did all the fireworks and everything for it before Taker came out. I think that's sort of the one bit that I thought, it's kind of a bit, she's celebrating, she has to walk to the front, then Taker comes out, then they give the fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that kind of hurt the presentation.
I had seen the clip of them standing together, and then I saw the match kind of finish, and my thought was, okay, these guys are all going to attack her, and then Taker makes the save, and then they leave together. But it was kind of weird that she finishes on her own. She's leaving. She's halfway out the door, and then he just rolls out just to throw up a fucking fist bump with her, and then leaves. It's kind of weird, but that's the kind of thing that WWE
sort of
does.
Awkward, I thought.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's just sort of WWE. Just get him in there, trot him out.
Yeah,
it's
exactly right.
It's that show. Let's not get into the details. Take us here too. It's Raw on Netflix. That kind of vibe. I want to actually quickly before we go into the next match and keep on moving with the show. How do we feel about the commentary team? Because Michael Cole has been,
I love him.
Has been consistent for a long time. Obviously, fucking forever with WWE, and he really is a great commentator and really steers the ship. I don't have heaps of experience with Pat McAfee, though. I will say. He is kind of infectious, and as somebody who does commentary and things like that, in a lot of ways, he does a lot of the things that commentators aren't supposed to do. You know what I mean? Sort of drawing attention to himself and stuff, but he pulls it off,
McAfee's not there all the time. He's a special occasion type person. Normally it's Corey Graves, and apparently there's some sort of issues with him getting upset that he wasn't on that at the moment.
Yeah.
But
I saw that
McAfee,
on Twitter.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's a work or what. But
you'd probably keep that to yourself if it wasn't.
Yeah, well, they moved him to NXT, and then he started running his mouth, and they pulled him off NXT this week as well. So I don't know what's going on there. But McAfee, man, he's a laugh. You can tell he doesn't follow the product all the time. There's a lot of things where he's not up with the story or anything, but he's just fun and exciting. And for an event like this where it's welcoming new people and, we've got the wrap-ups anyway and showing a package, you don't need to know the story, just get people excited. He's just a vibe.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a vibe. And Michael Cole, man, he knows how to run a show. He can do it with his eyes.
I think his presence helps make Michael Cole looser and more fun in a way. because he's like can be super inappropriate and things like that, and Cole is like trying not to laugh and stuff, and it makes him more fun as like the straight man.
Cole's loosened up a lot over the years. I think really like when COVID happened and Triple H was doing commentary with him, and Triple H was like drawing on his face and doing things. I think he was sort of forcing him to lighten up a bit there, and now he's a laugh as well.
I'm sure not having Vince McMahon literally in your ear the entire time probably helps as well.
Exactly right.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Do you?
I like them.
Yeah, I was going to ask Alex. Had you had much experience with Pat before?
Yeah, a little bit. He's got like ESPN shows and stuff for sports that I don't watch, but I see clips like on TikTok and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. He's entertaining. I think he's a little overwhelming sometimes, but I think him with Michael Cole, I think they complement each other well. Mm-hmm. I think Michael Cole kind of like puts a little bit more pressure for him to be a little more on the professional side, and on the opposite end, I think McAfee allows Michael Cole to open up a little bit more. Sure. And I think they really work well with each other. Absolutely. I enjoy them together. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. What is the dynamic like if you had a Graves in that seat instead of McAfee? Right.
It gets a little bit more professional.
Yeah.
It's Corey's one that really sort of works well for the diehards. He knows all the moves, he knows everything, but he plays a good sort of heelish character as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's not, things don't get too serious, that's for sure. It's still a lot of fun. I like Graves as well, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they tend to sort of have Graves and Michael Cole separate because they're both very talented, and then they run off someone like Wade Barrett or whoever.
Yeah.
Who's up that way.
I haven't watched SmackDown or any of the other shows. I can only fit so much in. Who is the commentary team for SmackDown? Is it just the same or different?
No, SmackDown's Wade Barrett and I forgot this Joe. Is it Joe Cacciatore? He's reasonably new.
Don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's a couple months in, but man, he took to it from day one as well. Yeah, right. He's pretty impressive. So, yeah, SmackDown's good. Wade Barrett's always good.
He is. He's a great commentator. And then who's in NXT?
You got Booker T.
Oh, okay.
And, Booker T's.
He's been doing it forever.
I can't stand Booker T on commentary.
Oh, really?
I'm not even going to lie about it.
I mean, I haven't listened to it in a very long time.
Yeah, I don't mind it with NXT. I think he works well with sort of, again, NXT is a very different vibe. I don't really sit down and watch NXT, but my two little boys, or my oldest boy especially, right into it. He really likes it. I don't get the appeal of it, but it shows, it's a very different market that way and different stories, and, the kids seem to like it. And at the end of the day,
watch more NXT than anything else, to be honest with you.
Really? Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. See, I was black and yellow NXT. Loved it.
Yeah,
I never watched Raw or SmackDown, but
it'll never get that good again.
Nah.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. Booker T, he's not bad all the time, but he's a little over dramatic at times, and I guess that's not always a bad thing. But to me, it's kind of I don't know. I could do without it sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Bit over the top. I have to listen to one. I haven't heard him in ages. And who's he with?
That I'm not sure.
Everybody's favorite. Was it Graves? But then,
I forgot his name now. He's been doing it for a while as well.
It's fine.
Got a mind blank now.
Yeah, that's all right. While you look it up, who is your favorite commentator of all time, Alex?
Vic Joseph.
Oh, okay. I know that name. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Favorite commentator of all time, like in WWE? Well, it would be in WWE.
Yeah. Let's just say in WWE, yeah.
I mean, I like Michael Cole. I really do. I think he's been great the whole time he's ever done it. Mm-hmm. So I just had this conversation with a friend the other day, and we were literally just talking about how I don't think anyone ever was as good as Michael Cole. And I know I'm sure there's someone I can think of, but off the top of my head, I can't.
I think like a lot of people, especially from kind of like my era and probably Ryan's kind of era, like would say JR, but I think I don't think that JR is maybe as consistent. I think he's like the voice of my childhood, like in a lot of ways in wrestling, but I don't think he's actually as like technically.
No, you
good.
put JR and the King back on. Like I've got very fond memories of those two. You put them back on, and man, they're not telling
today.
stories.
No. They were reacting to crazy things happening in the Attitude Era and things like that.
Yeah,
Michael Kyle.
I didn't mind Paul Heyman when it was Paul Heyman and JR. That was a good commentary.
Yeah, I've always really enjoyed Taz. Taz has been one of my favorite commentators, like for a long
Taz
time.
is good.
He actively tries to tell stories and from a wrestler's point of view and things like that. And I don't think he gets like enough play in AEW either. Like he should be in their main team. I feel like just to jump over there at the moment, like on their last pay-per-view, their commentary team was Shivani and Excalibur. And I felt like both of those guys are actually kind of too similar in a lot of ways, even like sound of voice, like Excalibur's obviously like a lot more move technical. Shivani is what he is. But together I was like, this is like really, there's no plateaus here. Whereas if you put like a Taz in that seat with an Excalibur, you really get like a dynamic or something, kind of different.
I struggle with Excalibur.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think
it dives too deep into things.
Sometimes goes too far. And Amy, like when Amy watches it with me, she's like, if they say this motherfucker's full name again, I'm going to lose my mind. Because they'll be like, I'm trying to remember what match it was, but like they always say like people's full name or whatever. And she's like, they've said this person's full name 20 times in like 10 seconds. She's like, I just don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
There's one particular name that fucking pisses her off so much. I can't remember what it is, but she's like, if I hear that again, I'm going to lose it. So anyway, back to Raw. Jey Uso comes out with Travis Scott for some reason. But again, Travis Scott, huge star, bit of rub on Jey Uso. The Yeet entrance is really fun.
Travis Scott's last concert.
Oh, are they like
gave him that hardcore title, and Travis Scott's a big diehard wrestling fan apparently, and I think they've got a lot more planned with him in the future. So
yeah, sure. Oh, well, that was cool. Then obviously he has a match with fucking McIntyre. Obviously, big imposing dude. You want to get him on the show, and they have a match. What do you think the upside is for Jey Uso? He's come a long way from, tag team wrestler and things now. Where do we see him eventually getting to?
I think he's where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see him as a world champ anytime soon. No, he's a good mid-range, high-end intercontinental or, main event. Like he's going to eat a loss to Gunther again,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think
there's not a lot of depth to him.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more actually about that when we may as well fucking talk about it now because we're not going to break it all down. But in the second episode, you see Gunther comes out. He cuts a great promo, and what a fucking dude he is. I was a huge fan of him when he was Walter. Saw him wrestle here actually in Perth, and he was devastating. He was so good. He was great, and then Jey Uso came out and. That the promo he does with the crowd saying yeet was one of the most annoying things I've ever seen. But then I did enjoy it when he kind of got a bit more serious. And I was wondering whether he can plumb for those layers. And then I was also kind of thinking what were the things he needed to change. And I was kind of thinking maybe, I don't know, some wrestlers just to get to the next level and to be taken seriously just need to up that size and fitness level. You know what I mean? I don't know, get a bit more jacked, get a bit more serious. I don't know.
You look at him compared to his brother, he's definitely done that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, then next to Roman, he's still far from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's on a good thing though. He's making plenty of money on merch sales and that. I don't think they're going to want to change him a whole lot as well. But to see him as a world champ he'd probably have to pull back on that sort of over-the-top character that people like as well and get a bit more serious. And then are people going to do the hand wave and things for him? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people are going to do the hand wave. I mean, look at the evolution of a Daniel Bryan. You know what I mean? Like the yes thing and the joke and the no and all that kind of stuff. And then eventually he got to the point with the right story that it all came together. So there's definitely opportunities. It just takes the right story, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right.
I can't stand that whole yeet thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It acts like he invented the word yeet or something, and that was like an internet meme like 3 years ago.
Well, actually, probably way longer than 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's just a guess, but I don't know. I find it very annoying. I don't mind him. It's just that whole thing.
Yeah. The
like
yeet thing was literally a vine, like fucking more like 15, 20 years ago.
That's why he said it in that press conference with Cody Rhodes, and somebody backstage must have just been like, say that every single time you get the opportunity to, and he did. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. He's fine though. He's cool.
Yeah. We will see where it goes. This is interesting because let's have a look at it from a kid's perspective. How do your kids react? Yeah, I was going to say, they'd be.
All I hear is yeet around the house.
Okay,
everywhere.
So, hey, at the end of the day,
even my 2.5-year-old girl is saying yeet.
Yeah. Because that internet vibe ages ago was like a girl in a hallway and somebody like hands her a drink and she goes, "Yo, this bitch empty, yeet," and just throws it down like a hallway at school.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where it come from. We fucking loved the Vines back in the day. Before TikTok, before Instagram and all that, you had Vine. All right. Next up, CM Punk and Seth Rollins. What is Seth Rollins, hey? Like, I used to be like the biggest fan of him, but I don't buy the fashionista thing. What is Burn It Down? I don't know what he is anymore. Like, I just don't.
You've sort of missed a bit of him because he's the fashionista's sort of toning down a little bit at the moment. I feel. I think he's starting to enter into sort of heel territory. I think he's going to go again.
Okay.
I've really enjoyed his over the top, Macho Man-esque type character that he had. I think that was better than his Messiah before that.
Yeah.
I like Seth. Seth's today's Bret Hart. Let's be honest. He's always going to be.
He's always great. They're
always going to rely on him, but he's always going to job out to the bigger name that's going to casually come in. So, but I like Seth. Seth's great.
All righty.
Yeah, I like Seth a lot.
Yeah, I like Seth. I just feel like the image or whatever, the package is a bit disjointed for me. You know what I mean? I'm like, what does it all mean? But hey, throw shit at the wall and see what sticks, I guess.
Haven't watched it long enough to know, mate.
Yeah. But even then, I was watching when he started doing the Burn It Down thing, and it meant nothing then. It was like a cool thing to say and have flames on the TV. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's never had meaning behind it. And he's just like, I guess he's meaning he's going to do the best wrestling, but he's never really explained it super well. It's just a thing he says because it sounds cool and,
Yeah, I think at one point it was, I think it started, wasn't he going to burn down the company? He was sort of rebelling against authority. I thought that's how it started, but I could be wrong.
Too long away. Maybe people are yelling at their phones right now with "you don't know the true meaning," whatever. I don't care. But I will say that there was a time when I was like, he was my favorite wrestler. Like, definitely. When I started getting back into wrestling and WWE, I hadn't watched in a very long time, and I turned on the TV and saw him curb stomp Randy Orton's head through a cinder block.
I remember that.
It was just after he'd left the Shield, so I missed all the Shield and everything when it had happened. And then I was super into authority, like Seth, sniveling like fucking champion, like with Triple H, all those guys. I loved all of that stuff,
like Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury and all them. That was I loved that too. Yeah,
when he bought like Corporate Kane and Joey Mercury and that iWatches and shit like Apple. So he was just like all that kind of dumb stuff. I really enjoyed, and so I just want the best for him. You know what I mean? I really do think he's one of the most talented wrestlers on the roster. How do you feel about CM Punk? Ryan, this would be interesting because you obviously don't have the maybe the kind of AEW bias that I might have, like about his conduct and things like that. How are you feeling about having him back in WWE?
Yeah, I'm happy to have him back.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's, I mean, I saw all the AEW stuff, and there's two sides to every story. And I mean, you look at him in WWE, there hasn't been a single drama. Whether it's it's probably a more put together company where people that have dramas are going to keep things quieter and be more professional. It's not as Wild West as AEW, but God, they're talking about that he's probably going to be the person that's going to take HBK's spot running NXT next.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He said openly that that's what he'd like to do, and he'd like to help work with the future talents. And he's always there. God, you always see these backstage shots, and he's there with HBK and with all these young talent talking to him. Yeah, I think they're whatever happened in AEW it's a different person.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's totally fine. And I mean, even when you rewind back to the dramas he had with WWE back in the day and the podcast and things like that, he obviously felt quite mistreated in everything that was going. And again, that was a different company now. So maybe the current like corporate landscape that is WWE, maybe that suits him. Maybe he just wants to clock in, do the things. Yeah. It's all laid out. It's fine. Because when
he wants to be corporate, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well,
if he wants that NXT spot, he wants to go corporate. So
exactly.
He's got to be happy.
Whereas I think he used to get pissed off because it would be like, we agreed on this, but then it was like, brother, we need you to fill in and do this and take this loss and work through this injury and shit like that. And it used to piss him off. So maybe he's going to really fucking thrive in a situation where it's like, it's all laid out. Fucking, if I get hurt, there's medical leave. There's fucking, you know what I mean?
100%.
Like, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. All righty. So that, what did you think of that last match between the two? I guess match-wise, CM Punk and Seth. Eddie, thoughts?
I mean, it was fine. It wasn't like mind-blowing. I honestly thought McIntyre and Uso was a better match, but it was fine. You got your two of your biggest stars in the main event for the first show, and they did fine. So that's all I say about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a mind-blowing spectacle or anything, but
I feel like they kind of rushed putting them together in the ring for this.
Yeah.
They could have let the hate build a little bit more, and this should have been something, like a cage match type, something a bit more full on, not just a matchy match and okay, cool, you beat me, now I'm going to make sure you don't win the Rumble type thing later. It's
or even like a last man standing or something.
Yeah. The amount of hate that these two had, I feel like just a matchy match didn't do justice for their first meeting.
Yes.
Yeah. So was this actually their first kind of one-on-one since CM Punk has been back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Seth and Punk have been at each other for a year since he showed up. Seth and Drew were both, pissed off that he was back, and man, Drew and Punk were brutal. They murdered each other.
That was an awesome rivalry. I liked that a lot. Yeah.
Anything Drew touches is gold.
Yeah.
Agreed.
McIntyre is the man in that company at the moment. But Seth and Punk should have been the same. And it was a really, really good match. They did that little call out to Punk and Ambrose or Moxley at AEW, how they finished the match the same way. But I don't know. It was a good match.
Yeah. It was fine. And it's like one of those things where you've just got to kind of let the story play out, right? Like this piece had to happen for then to sort of set up the start of the next episode, which is really what it's about. It's kind of a means to an end. And I do respect that kind of storytelling, though for the last match on the first, Netflix Raw, maybe there could have been something a little bit more spectacular to kind of like grab some new fans. You know what I mean?
This was a wrestlers match.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
exactly.
Wow, what are we watching next week? They needed to end the old WCW way with someone walking out or some sort of shock thing, and then it cuts before it's finished.
Kind of a little bit how they went with the car crash that was the end of episode 2. But we'll have a look at that in a second. So anyway, the second episode starts off with CM Punk coming in the ring, feeling pretty good about himself. He got the win, won the first Raw, and then, he's interrupted by both Seth and Drew. Drew's so good on the mic, eh? And yeah, I thought that was like a cool little setup. They're all going to be in the Rumble and they all fucking hate each other. And that continues.
Yeah, I mean, Drew's a wrecking machine at the moment. It's anything bloodline-ish is where he's going. That's why he's going now for Seth. But yeah, it'd be interesting. It's got to be, at the end of the day, Drew's got to be the one I think that'll end up with Cody for the title. He's the last bloodline friend to end the fight, I think. But yeah, it should be good.
There you go. Then we saw the debut of Pentagon. Penta. He had every name in the world at this stage, like different. I don't understand, like, copyrights. Like, why can't he just be Pentagon Jr.? That's who the fuck he is. Everybody knows it. Just accept it. But whatever. So anyway, Penta comes out. I thought that was a cool debut. I thought they made him look like a huge star, and he is one. He's always been one of the most fascinating and dynamic luchadors, like, on the market, basically. So really cool to see him.
Mate, putting him with Chad Gable was a wise move. And Gable, that man, if he was 2-3 inches tall, I would be a world champ.
Yep.
He is on another level when it comes to performances and character. And some of his luchador matches have just been amazing. His style works really well with him. So it was cool to have him and Penta tee up together. It was a long match.
Yeah. Was he is that his, because I know he was like, I want to verse a luchador or whatever. Has he kind of been on a thing like luchador is stupid wrestling and I want to beat them all up? Is that kind of like his vibe?
So apparently his promo at the start of this match wasn't shown in America.
Okay.
Because the Americans get ads where we got a whole lot of extra bits. So we got a New Day promo, we got the Sonya Deville promo, and then this Chad Gable promo as well, which apparently wasn't on the American one.
Wow. Why would that be different?
Well, we don't have ads.
Oh, do they have ads on Netflix?
So I think you can pay for a tier that doesn't have ads, but it's like astronomically much more money than the regular one. So I'm assuming most people probably don't have that.
Oh, okay.
That ad-free one. I think it's like $16.99 for the ad-free and like $6.99 for regular. So like
it's
$10 more just for no ads. Who cares?
Big price difference. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we get almost picture in picture over here, which is fun.
Yeah, it is kind of fun when they come back from it and things like that. But yeah,
so he had a promo about how he's got a bucket list. Was he wanted to break Otis's leg and then he wanted to beat a luchador. So he wants to become a champion for the first time. So that's his.
Yeah, wants to be a singles champ. Exactly.
Yeah. I hope he does eventually because he's amazing. He's so
brilliant.
good.
I like that the crowd kind of like sing to his music like they used to the Kurt Angle music, and he kind of feels it in a lot of ways like that.
They've even tweaked his music now to sound a bit more Kurt Angle-y.
Yeah, right. They're leaning
more into it now.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then Penta does his own promo, which is cool. I didn't really like him having a mouthpiece in AEW. Not that guy's bad, but like it's really unnecessary because he can do English, and I always feel like it's like throw up subtitles or fucking people can Google it later. Who cares? Like,
Netflix.
It's better.
Netflix were translating it live. If you had subtitles on, his Spanish was getting translated live into English.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Have to put the subtitles on.
Bring it on when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
Penta,
really cool.
I've loved Penta since Lucha Underground.
Yeah,
he's my dude, man. Yeah. That match with him and Vampiro, their death match that they had, that was wild.
That's the best. Penta just setting people on fire regularly.
yeah, breaking the arms, and it was cool how WWE even mentioned, he's a former Lucha Underground champion, and he's Triple A champ. Yeah, they mentioned nothing about AEW, but every other company he's worked for and the championships he's won. So that was cool. Little dig, but also cool.
Yeah, you've been a big fan of Penta for a long time, haven't you, Alex?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that match. I just watched that yesterday. It came up on on YouTube, and I watched that one, and I watched the Swerve versus AR Fox.
Yeah.
The cinder block one. Yeah.
I remember watching the Penta and Vampiro storyline play out. I watched it on TV when it came on, and I got really into that story, and the payoff was great. I thought that was the best Lucha Underground thing that they ever did.
Yeah, I had to essentially like pirate
Lucha Underground did no wrong other than finish.
No.
Yeah,
exactly. I agree.
Yeah. How good was Rey Fenix versus Mil Muertes like in that coffin match was fucking unbelievable. And then also that trios match where they just put together like fucking Son of Havoc, which is Matt Cross, Angelico, and what was her name? Evilise. They just put them together as like a hodgepodge team. But then when they had that fucking trios match, like for the titles, and Angelico came off the top of the office, like through the thing, like there was no more over fucking people in that company than the three of them. And you're like, these guys shouldn't work. But I don't know. And he was in AEW as well. And they fucking didn't even use him. Like,
I always thought him and Jack Evans. I've always wondered why they were never more, because I think both of those guys are great.
Yeah.
Jack reminds me of a Jericho, his mouth that he had on him and his style. He was great.
And it's even Jack, you can understand the size and there's only so many positions and stuff. But Angelico's like really tall, like not a bad looking guy. Yeah. Like, I don't know why nobody ever uses him, but yeah, he was so good. But yeah, I loved that show. It was so good.
They even booked Ricochet well. They knew that he shouldn't talk.
Yeah.
Sick burn, but yeah, Prince Peruba was sick. I only just realized that fucking King Cuerto is in WWE. He's like fucking Santos Escobar or something.
Escobar.
Who I've never watched before. I think he was on WrestleMania and I was like, who the fuck's this? But now I see that he's Cuerto. I'm like, of course. Because I was like, what the fuck happened to him? He was so good in that show. So, yeah, anyway.
Almost every single person that Lucha Underground like starred is on to bigger and better things. They're either on to bigger and better things or they're canceled. So,
yeah. That's fair. That's fair. All right. After that, maybe we need to do a fucking entire Lucha Underground revision one time.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah, I know. We just start from the start and just do like a side series where we talk about fucking every episode of Lucha Underground. That would be so dope.
I'm so down.
Yeah.
Then we can do you can do a tax write-off on how much it costs to buy the bloody Lucha Underground.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, buy it.
I always look for it, and
it's
so expensive.
Yeah. All right, next up after that, Sheamus had a match. There's no quicker way to get me fucking uninterested in a match than have Sheamus in it. But there was a stare down with Bron Breakker, I think. I think Bron Breakker is a Steiner. I like it. They should just call him a Steiner, though. He should just be a Steiner.
Yeah. He was going to be Rex Steiner, and then they decided to step away from that. But
that's stupid.
Rex Steiner was a badass name.
Yeah, he should have absolutely been a Steiner. And I still think he could change it back. He could absolutely, you could see him coming out, kind of promo and being like, look, I was trying to fucking hide from my legacy, but I am who I am and I'm fucking,
this company tried to hide me, but screw the company.
Yeah, you could absolutely do it. So keep it in the pocket and that'd be dope.
Also, did you say that you don't like Sheamus?
No, I fucking hate him. I find him so boring.
That's insane.
Yeah, but you also love Claudio Castagnoli, so we have very different taste in wrestling.
You didn't watch him through his peak. He had a little style, when he was there with Cesaro as the bar.
I watched them back in the day. That didn't help.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, right.
I thought he was even great recently when he was with McIntyre. I thought him and McIntyre were putting on bangers.
Yeah, he loves to tell you that, but I've still never seen a Sheamus match I've ever cared about. Like, it just doesn't happen.
All right.
That's funny because I would pick him to be your sort of style.
No, absolutely not. No, I'm not interested. I don't know why. I just can't fucking. I just can't. But it's the same. I've had this argument with Alex before as well because he's a Claudio guy and things like that. I'm like, I fucking couldn't care less about him as a wrestler.
Sheamus is not like my favorite, but I like him.
No, Sheamus would be a dude I'd like to see go to New Japan.
Yeah? You shut your fucking mouth.
Man.
Have the bar over there in New Japan.
Yeah,
both your boys on your
watching
show.
some strong style stuff over with Sheamus, man. I mean, let's be honest though. Raffe,
I'm sorry,
you're a Ziggler man. I am a Ziggler man.
Because they fucking think they do strong style because they throw hard hits, but they don't have any fucking true fighting spirit. That's the issue. But anyway, we're getting off the fucking topic. I'm getting heated. We saw the crowning of the new female Intercontinental Champion. I wasn't familiar. I obviously know Dakota Kai, but I am unfamiliar with the nice lady that won. She seemed to be
Lyra
very good.
Valkyria.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much
Who
to
is
know
she?
about her.
Okay.
Lyra Valkyria. So she was trained by Becky Lynch.
Okay.
So I think that maybe that helps. But I don't know. In NXT, they always sort of put her in matches and things. And, she's come to the main roster and they put her in matches. But there's not much to say about her. Not that I've really picked up story. I think Dakota Kai would have been the better pick.
I thought from the outside looking in, it felt like to me like they chose the wrong person. I thought Dakota Kai had way more charisma. I think, I honestly thought she would have won, to be honest.
I think Dakota would have got more out of it having a run with the title, but I guess Chelsea Green got the US, so maybe they want to do a face on one and a heel on the other type thing.
I guess.
I don't know. It's an odd pick.
Yeah, don't know.
I don't hate it, but I just
there's
going to
be Lyra fans. No, there'll be Lyra fans. They'll put it in the comments. There'll be one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was interested to see the Miz is still exactly the same. Not that that's a bad thing because he's been a consistent forever, but I was like, wow, he's still same gear, same music, same everything that he was. But he lost to the Sami Zayn with the Blue Thunder Bomb, and the Blue Thunder Bomb historically has been a Sami Zayn non-finish. Love to see it as a finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sort of sums up the Miz's story with the Wyatt Six. Just bang, it's done. That was weird how they that was, I think, the big part from this episode that they announced the Wyatt Six are going to get traded to SmackDown.
Yeah, because Cross walks out of the office, he's like, oh, the Wyatt Six are gone. And they're like, what? And then Sammy was there. Have they been having some kind of beef with them or something?
Oh, yeah, they were having some pretty cool stuff with the Miz. Miz got kidnapped and, they...
I love a good kidnapping in wrestling.
Oh, it was really cool. Dexter Lumis did it. He just appeared, like the video of it was really cool. He's standing and then just out of the dark, he comes from behind and bags him and drags him into the shadows. And it was sort of telling of the old days when Miz actually paid Lumis to do some work for him and then screwed him out of the money. So the new character came back and got vengeance. But they were saying there was a lot coming from it. And Cross and his team with the Miz and the Wyatt Six, Cross is brilliant. He's
always been great.
Yeah, they sort of killed him off. I mean, Vince McMahon they put him in this stupid mask and stopped him talking and took away all his shine. It killed him and they released him. But Triple H obviously knows what he's doing and Cross is coming back and he's really interesting. But this little feud was doing something. It was odd that they've just scrapped it. But I think also the Wyatt Six sort of felt a bit like they're spinning wheels. They were really exciting at the start. I was keen as for them. And
you were trying to get me to tune in. You're like, you need to at least check out what they're doing. It's really cool.
Yeah. All the hype things before they actually got in the ring and started running ropes was awesome. And now they come on every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks or a quick little vignette and then it's nothing. So hopefully it's a reboot on SmackDown and they get exciting again because, man, Bo Dallas, he deserves the world. He's
I always thought he was really good back in the day. Yeah, exactly.
I think my favorite, the idea of that just having this unhinged group of lunatics running around, and then the boss is like, "You have to go to somewhere else," and they're like, "Oh, okay." And then
even
kind of takes the magic away
in the beginning. They should just not be signed and just appear anywhere.
It's like inmates from an asylum that are just loose in there. If they've got contracts or they're like, you need to go check in at the other show, it does take away a little bit of that evil magic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When you're discussing contracts and stuff with it.
So maybe that's part of the story. They're still going to keep coming on Raw, haunting them, even though they're now signed to SmackDown. They could go that, maybe.
I just think they didn't even need to talk about it, maybe. It might have been best to just and let's never discuss this again. And then they're just over on SmackDown. That kind of fight.
Yeah.
What else happened? The Rhea comes out again looking like a huge star. Then she's interrupted by Nia, and like Bailey comes out and sort of like, we're friends, but we hate Nia more. And just really setting up the women's Royal Rumble, right?
You're putting Bailey everywhere at the moment.
Yeah.
So, which is funny because when she was the champ, they did nothing with her. They killed all momentum on her. And,
okay.
But Nia's doing good work.
She's come a long way on the mic and stuff like that. Still my favorite Nia Jax quote, and I think it was in a women's Royal Rumble. She got thrown out and she lands on the apron and she goes, "My hole." And the entire crowd cracks up, and I was like, that is going to haunt you forever. What a choice.
Yeah.
Anyway, that little interaction happened, but then it really got me back in with the Finn Balor promo, Damian Priest kind of stuff. I love, like, Finn has like been my dude for a long time. I really liked him. I fucking, loved him as Prince, and I mean, the man started the Bullet Club, in New Japan. But when he fucking cuts those helium promos, he's like backstabber Balor and things like that. He's just fucking got this like street thuggy kind of vibe to him that I really enjoy. And I thought the match was really good. And like I said, it's almost like I thought that was kind of the match that should end the first show, in a lot of ways. Like they're great, those two dudes.
I always love a good someone getting wheeled out on a stretcher spot, and then they just get the shit kicked out of them on the stretcher.
I love it. I love the fucking...
It's so funny.
When he threw the stretcher so perfect that fucking then Finn just rolls off it into the ring. I was like, if this hits a snag, this thing's KOing and he's just eating shit onto the apron, like... Yeah.
But yeah, when he's laying on that stretcher and he's just completely tied down, can't move at all, and Priest is just wailing on him. It cracked me up. I was laughing.
I always love it.
It was so funny.
I'm always with it. What do we think of the Judgment Day as a faction? Because from what I understand, it used to be, it was a pretty cool faction. Obviously, Rhea was in it. Dom's in it. Priest. But then now you've kind of got these, like, no shade against, Carlito and fucking McDowell, whatever, but they kind of just seem like fucking bumbling idiots, like, compared to...
I liked when they added Carlito and JD, when they were all together, when there's Priest and Rhea, but the end is near.
Yeah, you feel like that.
For Judgment Day. Yeah, Liv came in, she's never had the intentions of keeping it. She's going to go and do her thing.
Yeah, it's just because she's tied to Dom. Yeah.
JD's just going to follow Finn. I mean, really, Finn should be doing more now anyway. I'm surprised they didn't put the title on him when he had his last match with Priest and Gunther. I thought that would have been a good way to boost him back up. Yeah. And a few weeks ago, one of the little Easter eggs Triple H likes to have was Dirty Dom behind the scenes at SmackDown talking with Nick Aldis when they were talking about trades. So,
okay.
Yeah, that was one. They sort of tucked in a behind the scenes. There was some promo happening, and Dirty Dom in the background is there with Nick Aldis walking out of an office, shaking hands type things.
Yeah, okay. So you think they're pulling him? Yeah, because even like Dom was like, "Hey, do you want me there ringside or whatever?" And Finn's like, "You got plenty going on. You stay here." It kind of felt like he doesn't trust him anyway. And so they're probably going to move him on, and I think Dom can probably do like a lot more. He's like so fucking, over heel wise, despised.
No, I think they've done their run. I mean, shit, it started, it was Edge, Rhea, and Priest. Oh, really? Yeah. That's how long it's been around. Yeah. Judgment Day was Edge's creation first, and then they got rid of Edge, and Finn. They got Finn, and Finn helped boot Edge out, and that's how it evolved from there. It's gone for a long time, actually.
Absolutely. Finn's just got such a huge upside, and I feel like he really fucking had a rough run. Like, if you rewind all the way back to when he fucking debuted on Raw or whatever and won the title, huge thing, but then blew out his shoulder in that match with Seth because they went so fucking hard. And then it just dumped his career, and it was like McMahon era.
Never recovered.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where in that era, McMahon's always been like, this is why you fucking get big guys, because these fucking little pussies can't fucking hack it. And like, that it just torpedoed his career into the fucking dirt, and he hasn't been
smiling Finn.
Yeah, exactly. And they didn't do any of the demon shit anymore. And like, they just fucking,
I'm glad the demon stuff's done.
Yeah. I don't think it needs to be around. I feel like it's something he can pull out of his back pocket and maybe evolve in a different way, you know what I mean, down the track or something like that, because there was a time when it was like the most over gimmick in WWE. But yeah, I think he's a great fucking heel and a great face, so you can kind of do anything with him. I was actually super surprised he lost this,
I'm honestly, I sort of checked out with this match. I've seen these two going at it for such a long time that I'm done with it.
Yeah,
I hope
they do that.
Priest goes to SmackDown, or maybe Judgment Day gets split up and Finn and JD go to SmackDown or something. Maybe Dom was getting them traded instead of himself. Who knows? But there's something has to happen to just get these two guys apart so they can go and
do something else. Yeah. I am. I can see that, and that used to be one of my biggest criticisms of Raw when I used to watch it all the time, and I can be very completionist, and I was watching everything. I was like, I can't fucking watch this match one more time. There was, and it was about Finn, who was one of my favorite wrestlers for a very long time, and it's like he had this feud with Bobby Lashley that just went for what felt like 16 fucking years. Like they were wrestling at every pay-per-view. And like on SmackDown and on Raw and on thing, and I'm like, this sucks, dude. Like, stop. Like, and they get in that holding pattern, and it's like, can you please not do this anymore?
Yeah, Finn and Priest are at that. If they're triple threat with Gunther or Walter or whatever you want to call him, whoever, if say Finn pinned Priest and became the champion, and something like that, don't have Gunther eat the loss. They could have dragged it out more, because then they've got something more to fight about than revenge. Let them fight for a title. But you've had revenge. You've had it so many times now.
Yeah. And you're the huge WWE fan, and you look exhausted by this rivalry. I can see it in your face.
This story has been exhausting.
Sure.
Priest lost his title a long time ago now.
Yeah, because I saw him win it at like SummerSlam. Was it SummerSlam that he won it? And like,
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I think he won it at SummerSlam, yeah. And like, it just went on, until now. Until 2025. So
Well, Finn cost him the title, and you would think then Finn would get the title, and then they fight for it that way or something.
But Finn, for whatever reason, never took it, and so it just never kind of hit that next level. Well, all right then. So on and on. I guess the question is, who's tuning in next week? How are we feeling about it?
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I'm on.
We're into it.
Let's see what Penta does next.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Are any of us tuning into SmackDown? I think the answer's probably no for me.
I used to watch
SmackDown's on right now.
Oh, what? Right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we could have live streamed it. I sent you a photo of Kevin Owens' shirt. How good is it?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't realize that. Yes, he did send me a photo of Kevin Owens' shirt. And for you, Alex, I'll read what it says. It's hell good, because he's obviously feuding with Cody Rhodes at the moment. And he's wearing a shirt that says, "The Canadian Dream, son of a security systems technician."
Oh, that's good.
Kevin Owens is always so good. I'm such a huge fan of him, and he is absolutely...
he's a top 3 WWE guy for me.
Yeah,
so.
I would love KO to take the title off Cody, even if
like
it was
for real.
A month here, a month there. There's too many long title runs at the moment with the world titles. Just hot potato this thing for a little bit.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Yeah, for sure.
I was
KO's doing awesome work at the moment.
Yeah, I was super surprised that fucking Gunther's title is a world title. I thought he was like the IC champ or something, and then he's like, "I have the world title," and I was like, "Wait, do they still have 2 main titles on the same show?" Like, I don't understand.
Well, that was a funny thing with that first episode. They talked Cody up like he was peak, and they just shat over the Raw titles. So Cody's the SmackDown champ. Gunther's the Raw champ. You wouldn't have picked that watching on the first episode.
No, I just thought that like fucking Cody was the champion of WWE, and that's the end of the story. And then there was like the subtitles afterwards.
No, that the world heavyweight title has been booked very strong. Like it was, 1A, 1B, not A and B.
Yeah, right.
But Gunther's titles, his reign, surprisingly, it's been pretty crap. It's kind of killed his mystique a bit. Even though he's the world champ, I mean, he lost to Cody. I think when they had world champ versus world champ, that, in Saudi, of course, the killer of all storylines, any Saudi show, that really sort of, it should have been a draw or it should have been dodgy, not just a simple 1, 2, 3. And Gunther of all people.
It's tough if you're going to have your A1 and A2 champions versus each other. There's really kind of no way for the loser to look good unless you just fucking do like a title merge or something like that to then still be walking around with the title.
An overbooked shit show, which they've been pretty good at lately. But I don't know. It's sort of hurt that title at the moment, and I was disappointed that even have him sitting in the ring, watching the McIntyre and Jay match would have been awesome. Just to have him, not just a promo package about the title.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh well, yeah. Well, there we go. Well, I guess we'll see how it pans out, and we'll see if it can get us on board, and we'll do another one of these if we're super into it. Maybe we'll reconvene after the Rumble or something like that, or like we were saying before.
Do pre-Rumble.
Yeah, maybe a pre-Rumble.
We can guess our winners.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah,
plus, I normally drink during the Rumble. We play a drinking game when we're watching it, and so I probably won't actually fucking remember it anyway. All right, so let's do. It's time to rep our playlist. Alex, why don't you tell them what the playlist is about? Yeah.
So the playlist is something that we came up with a couple weeks ago, and every single time we record, we throw we mention an album and we throw like a song or two in it. If both of us are into that band, the other person will put like another song in there, but it's a couple songs by some bands we like that I don't know, that we just throw into a playlist for driving or whatever. And so I guess it's time we add a couple to the playlist for this episode.
Absolutely. You're selling it. This is the playlist for the road warriors. This is getting you to and from shows. This is if you're a wrestler on the road, we've got a bit of everything for you. This is a polyjamorous playlist. This isn't a particular genre. We're just throwing in bops and you can listen along. So why doesn't our guest start? Because Ryan, I requested you, I gave you the heads up in advance so you could do some research and have a think about it. Alex, get ready with your pen to note it down. And what are you?
I've got
what
Spotify
are you
up on my phone right now.
Yeah, there you go. What are you vibing, Ryan? I don't even know what Ryan's music taste is like. He might be like, I hope you like poker. Like,
yeah, Lady Gaga, Poker Face.
Yeah,
and,
that's a banger. There you go.
That would rule.
No, you told me 2 songs from one album. So it's. I'm a big hip hop person generally, so that's the way I'm going. And he's kind of a new one to me to pop up on the radar, even though he's been around a while. Good old Spotify put him in, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll get a bit of this, and followed along. So NF.
Okay.
The album is The Search, and the 2 songs I picked is actually The Search and When I Grow Up.
Okay.
Are 2 that I've really got into. And I'm going to be cheeky and throw a third song from a different artist. Can't do it without this one, and that's Mass Lines. We've got to go Young Punks.
Oh, yeah, okay. The TMDK theme.
What was the last one again? I'm sorry.
Mass Lines, Young Punks.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the song that like Zack Sabre Jr. and all those guys come out to for TMDK.
All right. That is all added on here now.
All righty. Do you want to go next, Alex?
You can go next.
Okay. Mine is going to be, we were talking about this one this morning. It's just going to be the new release from Fox Lake. So their new single, Cold Hard Truth. I fucking heard it for the first time this morning, both songs, and loved them both. So I'm just going to go that straight out. So Cold Hard Truth and Savior are the 2 tracks on that 2-track single, and it is banging.
All right, and they are both added on here now. And for mine, I was actually going the hip hop route this week also.
Hey, good one.
I am going with a artist that I just recently saw live, and his name is Lord Sco. He's a real young New York rapper, real old school sounding. I think he's the shit. Album is United Palace, but he has a new one coming out soon. But the 2 songs I'm going to add are Pimp Socks and Mescaline Leaves.
Okay.
I love those songs. But yeah, it's like real like old school New York hip hop, and I think he's awesome. So
there you go. That's cool.
And he's a big wrestling fan too. So
there you go. It all ties in. We've had a little bit of hip hop in the list, but not heaps. And so this is cool. This is going to start to balance it out a little bit more.
Yeah, that's why I went hip hop on this one, and I'm glad you did too, because that really throws in some more, a little bit more dynamic to the playlist.
Because this has got everything from heavy to hardcore to punk to pop music,
to Chapel Roan.
Yeah, it's got it all.
It's funny that it's on a Raw episode because NF actually did one of the Raw theme songs.
Did he really?
Oh, did he?
2021.
I know his name, but I don't think I've ever listened to him.
Yeah, you'll know it once you hear him. The Search.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay then. That's hot. All righty. Well, there we go. Another successful fucking recommendation. So we'll have that in the show notes if anybody wants to check out the playlist. It's open for anybody else. And if you want to make a suggestion to be added, we'll take listener suggestions too. We love all new music and bangers. So just feel free to DM Faces and Feels or DM Alex directly. Alex, tell them where to find you.
Vinyls and Violence on Instagram. That's where I'm most active, even though I haven't been super active lately, but that's where you'll find me mostly. So, yep.
Okay,
that's me.
And tell everybody about Brewcha Libre and what you do, Ryan.
Yeah, so it's at Brewcha Libre Brewing Co. on Insta. That's the main one. We've got Facebook as well. It's flat out at the moment, building our own little brewery that we've just got approval on. So that's exciting. As next beer will come out. There's not a release date locked in just yet, but we're re-releasing Young Punk. So excited for that one.
Yeah.
We've also got a sneaky little wrestling title, the Endless Grand Championship, which has its own Insta as well. So jump on there, follow that for a bit of fun. But
absolutely, you'll see me on that thing. I've been
exactly
a referee for that and an announcer for that.
We
know you can count to 3.
I've done it twice, so that's more than any time in my life before that. So yeah, we've super fun with that. It's just literally. Imagine the old WWE 24-hour hardcore title, a YouTube channel about that belt, essentially. The Endless Grand Championship goes all the time, and it gets thrown around through different wrestlers, and it's already becoming a world title. Like, where's it been? It's been in Korea?
Yeah, it went to Korea. Yeah,
it went to Korea.
In the ring in Korea with Michelle Hasluck.
Absolutely.
So that was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And then come back. It's technically been in Japan as well. I guess it went with her to Japan. I don't think it got defended in Japan, though.
No.
But it's already a world title. So yeah, we'll keep it rocking, and that's super funny. And then you never know, you might even see that pop up on the likes of Dude, Where's My Ring that we do. And Ryan is a close personal friend of all of us over there as well. So yeah, but if you want a good beer and you're in Australia, make sure you check out. Oh, he's wearing the shirt. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, make sure you check out everything Brewcha Libre and check out Ryan's merch store as well for some quality Brewcha Libre merch too. So there we go. Thanks everybody for checking it out. Thank you both for giving up your Saturday morning and Friday night respectively. And from us, it is what it is. It's peace, love, and pro wrestling. Thanks for listening. Faces and Feels is a proud member of the Count Out Podcasting Network. It is created and hosted by me, Rafe Houston, edited by myself and the amazing Ryan Neitze, and the show is available on all good podcast platforms, so please go rate and subscribe. You can follow the show everywhere on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, etc. at Faces Feels Cast, and you can check out the Count Out Network and all our sister shows over there at Count Out Pod. If you'd like to book me for commentary, have an interview request, a topic suggestion, or you just want to say hi, you can email us at facesandfeels@gmail.com. With all that said, thanks for listening, and please support our friends and sponsors. Peace.
My body is a roadmap of pain.
DeathmatchWorldwide.com, the official online merchandise store that is only for deathmatch wrestling. Featuring official t-shirts from No Peace Underground, John Wayne Murdoch, Akira, Madman Pondo, Zona 23, Neil Diamond Cutter, G. Rayburn, Schlack, Necro Butcher, and many more. If you are a deathmatch wrestler, promotion, manager, or platform and are interested in joining the web store, send us an email to deathmatchworldwide@yahoo.com. Deathmatchworldwide.com for the violent feud.
This has been a Countout Podcast. Countout provides a wide variety of bonus content that is right at your fingertips. On the Countout Patreon, our podcasts are creating bonus content exclusively for you, their listener. For only $5 a month, you can watch instant reactions to major shows, watch-alongs, early access to main feed podcasts, some fun goof and gag audio, plus shows from some of the podcasters' outside interests. It's the best way to experience all that the Countout Network has to offer. So head on down to patreon.com/countout to take part in some of the best and most fun content wrestling has to offer. Again, that is patreon.com/countout.